Hola a todos. Bienvenido a Madrid. Welcome to Madrid, everyone. For those of you who are just joining me, my name is Preston, and I'm trying to live my life. Usually, I'm trying to live my life 28 days at a time, visiting different cities around the world. Right now, I'm trying to move to Madrid, including getting a digital nomad visa. And I've been here, this is my second week here. And so I wanted to talk today about some of the things that have shocked me about trying to move to Madrid. Shock's probably a strong word, maybe more like surprised. These are things that I didn't account for or didn't expect. So let's go check out the city while I talk about it. Before I get too far, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that would be really cool. Little channels like me, every subscriber makes things a little easier for us. So thank you. First thing, of course, number one, January might not be the best time to move to Madrid, or at least travel to Madrid. Now, there's some positives. For example, there's a lot less people here, and it's not exceptionally hot. But on the other hand, it does get a little cold, which isn't a problem for me. I'd rather it be a little too cold than too hot. But if you're expecting it to be hot, Madrid gets really cold. We're actually quite high up that are just closed. They're off on vacation because it's cold here and there isn't a lot of people to make a lot of money. So this is a perfect time to take off. So I'm at the market, for example, every day, trying to find some essential stuff, and it was a little difficult because most of the food stuff is fine. I can get meat, I can get fruit, but trying to get spices or some more specialty items has been a little difficult here. But again, there's a lot less people here, so it's not so crowded. That's a positive. Number two is that I'm not as good in Spanish as I think I am. I've been practicing Duolingo for quite a while, which admittedly is not the best way to learn to become fluent or anything like that, but it has helped me enormously just picking up words and figuring things out. I can read signs, I can understand things, I can buy stuff and figure out what it is that I'm buying, like for example the difference between shampoo and body wash. I know to me it's kind of the same, but this is stuff that I've been able to figure out. What I've not been able to do is conjure the words, right? And that's really where I need to start working a lot more and conversing in Spanish. And people here speak so quickly. Trying to pick up what they're saying, giving me instructions, following those instructions has been very difficult. But usually everyone is so patient, and they will flip to English if they know English. If not, hand gestures, that kind of thing. It's not a problem, but I'd like to get better at it. What's funny is I still have that thing where I blank out when I'm trying to speak, and sometimes French comes out because my brain's like, hey, use that other language. Okay. And that's it. And other times I just sit there and stare like an idiot, just and even when someone has flipped to English to help me out, sometimes I still try to insist on speaking Spanish, which is just pure instinct and effort, although that can appear a little rude because, when you're talking about someone who's in the service industry, who's just trying to get their job done, can you move it along, buddy? Let's just do this in English. I try to be as sensitive to that as possible, but failing that, I have been trying. It's just not really worked out too much. Number three, really like Vermouth. It's a really cool fortified wine. It's kind of like a bit of a mulled wine, which might surprise you because it's very different than, say, for example, the vermouth that you'd have in a cocktail or like a martini, for example, or what they call the Italian vermouth. Spanish vermouth is very spiced, and it's like strong wine with the edge taken off a little bit, and with some nice other flavors and stuff. I tried it in Seville last year and thought, oh, cool, you know, this is the traditional Spanish beverage, and you know, when in Spain, you know, try that out, and it was really cool. Now, since coming to Madrid, I figured I'd try it a little bit, see whether it was still, you know, still a thing, you know, drink vermouth. Turns out it's absolutely a thing in Madrid. In fact, after years of it being like your grandfather's drink or your grandmother's drink, it's now become quite an artisanal thing where many wineries are making their own vermouth. It's so diverse with so many options available. I went to a vermouth tasting yesterday, in fact, and I learned so much about it. It was so interesting, and I really want to learn more. I bought a bottle, and I'm going to try to have a little bit at home. But, you know, it is supposed to be a social thing, so I might have to, like, you know, push myself a little bit. Number 4, I don't think I could have done any of this on my own. You know, between applying for the visa, getting a new cell phone, like a cell phone plan, getting a bank account, utilities to my apartment, the internet at my apartment, not to mention the apartment itself. I mean, it all seemed like something I could probably do, but then once I started looking into it, it seemed like a big hassle, and then I found out I could hire people to do that, like a relocation agent. And once I hired her, Julia, thank you, everything seemed to run very, very smoothly, and starting to realize just how difficult all that was, not understanding the language very well. You know, I don't know what I was thinking when I had that initial thought that maybe I could do this on my own. If you're doing it, seriously, look into some kind of help. A relocation agent, one of those move to Spain classes. I took one of those too. And I still have to get like taxes and stuff all settled. I've got a tax guy here, but I need a tax guy at home. But it'll get figured out because I'm out to get help. Number 5, there are so many hills. I had no understanding of how many hills there would be in Madrid. This whole place is up, down, up, down. And unfortunately, where I am, I'm kind of at the top of the hill. So if I go anywhere, I'm guaranteed to go uphill at some point because I got to get back home. It's not that big a deal, obviously, because, you know, it's healthy, a lot of walking. Some places like this, it's quite smooth. Other places, cobblestones, a little bit more difficult and a little bit more steep. But yeah, Madrid is right in the middle of the mountains, like on either side, and it's actually 657 meters above sea level, which, you know, it's not Denver, but it certainly would explain a little less oxygen that I'm used to, like being right at lake level anyway. Maybe that's a thing, or maybe I'm just out of shape and I gotta walk a little bit more of these hills to get used to it. Number 6 is, this is a clean city. Madrid is exceptionally clean. Behind me is Gran Via, and not only are the buildings completely white or some offshoot of white with a slight pink or a slight yellow, but they're maintained white. And I can't even imagine how hard that is to keep clean, because that's the main strip, and there are people obviously walking around, but also cars driving, all kinds of exhaust fumes, just, you know, the dirtiness of the city. But they somehow seem to keep it nice and clean. And it's not by accident either. They put an effort. You see cleaners all over the place. And they're also washing the streets regularly. In fact, I get woken up most nights by the street washers. And they're working at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. So, I mean, obviously it's super important. It also explains why the streets are all wet in the mornings, even though it hasn't rained for a while. That took me a little while to figure out, but yeah, they clean the streets constantly. It's a great city, amazing. So anyway, those are 6 things that I found a little surprising, shocking even. But what do you think? Am I nuts for doing this? Have you ever moved to another country? Have you been to Spain? I would love absolutely any bit of advice or validation, to be honest. This is a long, weird, complicated, bureaucratic process. Hopefully it goes well. Either way, I'm going to take you along. So if I haven't already begged you to subscribe and you want to keep up with everything that's going on, just, there's a little button somewhere. I'm also on Instagram. You can search for portageur or portageur_ca. I'm doing shorts over there, little reels, fun things that we're doing during the week. So, maybe we'll see you there too. Anyway, hasta luego. Bye, everyone.